Hi guys, it's Chef Nick from the Fat Sparrow Group. Welcome back to my kitchen. Today we're cooking spicy-ish stir fry. Let's see what's in the box. Shiitake mushrooms, garlic and ginger, chow mein noodles, some nice bell peppers, some purple cabbage, some more veggies like carrot, celery, onions, green onion, our black bean sauce, which is crucial, and all of our salts and chili flakes and sesame oil and soy sauce. Awesome, let's get cooking. All right, we're ready to get cooking. This stir fry is gonna happen pretty quickly, and they always do. My most important tip for you when preparing a stir fry is to get all of your chopping done ahead of time, kind of get all of your prep lined up and ready to go so that when we turn the pan on, it's just boom, 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 and you don't have to stop and go back and forth, because once we start cooking, it has to happen in a fairly quick succession, and it's important that we kind of get the textures of all of our vegetables correct. So one of the first things we'll do is cook our chow mein noodles as soon as my water is boiling. I'm gonna be a few minutes before that's ready to go, so in the meantime, I'm gonna start prepping my vegetables. I'm not gonna waste a lot of time telling you guys how to cut your vegetables. There's instructions in the recipe book, but ultimately, cut them however you want and however you feel comfortable. So I'm gonna get busy chopping. We'll catch up in a second. In addition to all our chopped vegetables, we're gonna have our aromatics. Our aromatics today are garlic and ginger. For the garlic, I'm just gonna smash it nice and flat. And for the ginger, same thing. So I'm gonna peel this down and then I'm gonna give it a really heavy thud with my knife. That way, we're gonna be able to fry the garlic and the ginger and get all of their aromatics and essential oils out, but you won't actually eat the ginger. It'll just be part of the dish, and when you find it, the person who gets it is the lucky one, and you can put it aside and save it for a special treat. So we've got all of our vegetables cut. I made that look pretty easy. We've got our soy sauce. I'm gonna mix it with about a cup of water. And this is gonna be helping us build our sauce later. So I'm gonna set that aside. Our water is now boiling. So I'm gonna go ahead and add the chow mein noodles into the water. And these will take, how long will they take? Good question. 2 to 3 minutes. These will take about 2 to 3 minutes to cook. As soon as they're cooked, I'm gonna take them out, toss them with half of the sesame oil, and then I'm gonna lay them out on a plate and have those sitting on the side, ready to go with our noodles, with our vegetables later. So my chow mein noodles are out. I've got them strained off. I'm just gonna pour about half of the sesame oil that came in your package on them. Give them a little bit of a mix just so they don't stick together. And then I'm gonna plop them over here onto a plate, just spread them out a bit. The reason I'm doing this is just so they don't overcook while they're sitting around waiting for my vegetables. But they're nearby and ready to use as soon as I need them. So that's great. So our cast iron pan is nice and hot. I'm gonna add our sesame oil into that pan. And I'm just gonna wait till I start to see it smoke a little bit. You can already kind of see it starting to do that. That's when I'm gonna know that I'm ready to start adding my other ingredients. So the first thing I'll do is add my aromatics. That's our ginger and our garlic. So into the pan they go. And we'll just allow those to cook on their own for a moment or two. And we just wanna kind of get those essential oils into the rest of the dish. And then I'll start adding my other ingredients. So now that our garlic and ginger are starting to roast off and smell fantastic, I'm gonna add our next round of vegetables. That's gonna be our hardest vegetables. So today, that's our celery, our onions, and our carrots. If you're using a different variety of vegetables or adding anything out of your own fridge, Just keep that in mind. You're going to want to use your harder vegetables first, and then we'll get into our quicker cooking vegetables afterwards. That way, in the end, we end up with very similar textures. An important thing to remember when you're stir frying is to not overcrowd your pan. If we overcrowd the pan too much, then we end up just steaming everything and not searing it and giving that kind of caramelization that we're looking for. Another great reason why cast iron pans are so fantastic, because they hold on to all that heat. Woks are wonderful too. Woks are super thin metal. The idea there being that they're constantly being refed heat from the fire below. Now that my sort of harder vegetables are softened up nicely and they're smelling great and they've got a good amount of color on them, I'm going to add the remainder of my vegetables. So into the pan they go. I'm going to give them a quick mix, and then I'm going to add half of my soy water glaze. That instantly starts to smell like stir fry. This reminds me of coming home from school when my mom was making stir fry for dinner. This is awesome. The next thing we're going to worry about is creating our glaze for this dish. So we're going to take that same remaining soy water and we're going to mix it in with some cornstarch. Cornstarch will give this a nice bit of body, and when it cooks out throughout the dish, it'll provide that sort of shiny, silky sort of look that we're so used to stir fries having. So I added the cold water and soy sauce to the cornstarch. It's important that you do it in that order. If you do it the opposite way around, you'll end up with lumps. We do not want lumps. So now I've got this nice sort of milky looking soy water sauce. Once I add that to my stir fry, it'll give it a really nice sort of texture, and that finish, that is exactly what I'm going to be looking for. Now that my vegetables are where I want them, they're all nice and tender and almost exactly perfectly cooked, I'm going to add the rest of my soy water mixed with that soy sauce. So I've cleared a little bit of an area in the middle of the pan, and I'm just going to pour that right into there. I know it looks pretty weird at first, it looks kind of milky and strange, but once that cornstarch starts to cook, it'll turn into this just shiny, glossy, beautiful sauce. So my cornstarch has had a minute to cook. I'm going to add the black bean sauce. And this will complete our sauce in our dish here. You want to make sure your cornstarch has time to cook out. Raw cornstarch has a really chalky flavor and texture. It's unpleasant, so we want to make sure we cook that out. So my vegetables are cooked now. I'm going to remove these from the pan. I'll add my last little bits of oil. And then I'll add our noodles back into the pan. Holy Hannah! Our noodles are in the pan now. I'm just going to kind of move them around every few seconds. What we're trying to do is not only heat these noodles back up, but put a little bit of chewiness to them by sort of cooking them against the pan. So if they stick to the pan a little bit, that's not the worst thing in the world. Just be aggressive with your tongs and get them free again. My noodles are nice and crisped up now. They're hot. They've got the right texture that I'm looking for. Now I'm just going to remove them to the plate. We'll just top it with our vegetables. And finally, we'll finish it with our green onions. You may have noticed at home that I didn't put any chili peppers in it yet. We would have put them in when we added the black bean sauce. I haven't put it in because not everyone in my household likes it spicy, so I'm going to keep it on the side. I'll put as much as I want on mine, and my kids can keep it off theirs. That's our spicy-ish stir fry, or not yet spicy stir fry, if you will. I've had a blast cooking it with you guys. I know you guys are going to enjoy it. I'm going to tuck into this right now. We'll see you next time.